welcome to So Awkward. I'm Jester.
And I'm Don.
And we just got done watching Stranger Things.
Spoiler. Because the pretty boy...
spoilers at the beginning of this.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying, hi!
I urged you to watch this.
No, the entire internet urged me to watch it. Like,
Okay.
everybody has been talking about this. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. Like, it's this mind-blowing, innovative, amazing thing. So going into it, my expectations were overblown. I mean, I didn't expect it to be the best thing. I expected it to be better than it was, though. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was cute. I thought it was clever, sort of. But I didn't really get it. I was mostly bored.
I was not bored. I watched the entire thing in one day. I spent an entire Thursday just watching it. I was excited for Winona Ryder. I really like her.
She's good. All across the board, the acting was great. The cast was phenomenal. I just had I thought conceptually it was weak. Just the story was so thin. Like there was nothing. Nothing happened. Like nothing happened. Because we were gonna film this review. I can't pinpoint a single scene or moment that is in my mind as being memorable.
Really?
Really. I thought the design of the monster, spoiler, that was like the worst looking monster I've ever seen.
Was it?
Yeah. Cloverfield is the worst looking monster I've ever seen. This was just like some kid's doodle. Maybe that's what they're going for. It just looked like a mess of shitty CG. It looked like, maybe it was supposed to be retro, like bad CG, but it looked like, you know when you watch an episode of Xena, and there's like some like Minotaur monster that's like, you know, early 95 CG. Like that's what it looked like to me.
I didn't have a problem with the monster. And I have actually... We get up really early for work. So I'm up in the middle of the night. And I have this one part of my house that has always scared me. And now in my mind, I see the monster in this area of the house.
See, I didn't find it scary.
I wasn't scared. It's just, I don't know, after effects of this show. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I see a monster coming up from my basement stairs.
I mean, that's good. I think they could have used animatronics, because they went for this whole retro 80s vibe, which I would consider... That's what they intended, and that's what people are saying, even though they really just ripped off Spielberg and Stephen King. They do beat-for-beat moments from Spielberg movies, but then they say, oh, it's okay, though, we have a Jaws poster. So it's because we're doing it as an homage. No, you're just ripping off a better filmmaker. Like the sheriff goes into this hospital and this guy's reading Cujo by Stephen King, and the guy goes, that crazy dog, and then he like winks at the camera. I don't know.
I really liked the E.T. scene, where they're on the bikes.
See, I hated that scene.
I really liked that.
That's the most iconic scene from my childhood, and one of the most iconic scenes in movie history. And so they just took, like, beat for beat, it's the exact same scene, but it's just dumb and boring. But like all of E.T. was building up to that moment. Like, oh, we have to keep E.T. away from like these government officials because they want to do things. I never understood the motivations of the bad guy in this movie. They were too nebulous. I didn't understand why they were nothing. There was no set reason for me to care about the story or any of these characters. So even when that scene came, I didn't care. And it was just a rip-off of E.T. But it didn't even have the payoff. Like, she made the car flip. That's another problem with this show. Every time there's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Elle just does her magic thing. And then we're supposed to feel scared for her. She's the most powerful being on the planet. She kills everybody.
Kid.
But she kills everybody. She makes people's brains explode. Just in the first episode, just make Matthew Modine's brain explode.
11's my favorite.
She.
I loved her, and I felt bad for her.
The first half of the series was build up. I was like, oh, this is intriguing. What's going to happen? And then just at the end, it's like, oh, that's what's going to happen. It's nothing. Elle kills the monster with her brain. I liked the kid with no teeth.
Uh-huh.
He was funny. I didn't like the sheriff character, but the actor was so good. And he kind of had an interesting story arc where he started to believe and tried to help. Like, I liked his arc. And he punched people in the face. That was like he punched another guy in the face.
Yeah.
Because he waltzes into this top secret laboratory, right? And he's trying to get into this room, but he doesn't have the key card. It's like a video game. In video games, you always need to kill somebody to get their key card. So this guard comes up to him and says, "Hey, you shouldn't be here." And he's like, and then he just punches him in the face, knocks him out, takes his key card, and then gets in there. And then he's just still wandering around for like another couple hours. It's like, this top secret facility, there's one guard. And this guard has a key card that gets him into the alien prison room. Like, wouldn't only Matthew Modine have like access to that? Matthew Modine, the main bad guy, total dud. Like, all the acting was great. Matthew Modine is boring in everything.
Yeah, I don't think he did very well.
I mean, I'm not saying they should have had some like mustache twirling like evil villain, but I'm also saying they should have had like a mustache twirling evil, like have a fun. But it's an homage to old age. I don't care. If I want to watch E.T., I'll watch E.T.
You don't want to watch
right,
E.T.
I don't watch E.T. because it makes me, like, just thinking about E.T. gets me all choked up. Thinking about this show, it's like, oh. And after I watched it, I did, like, I texted you or would tell you at work. I was like, so just to be clear, none of that made any sense, right? Like, nothing was explained. And you were like, yeah, nothing was explained. I was like, did I miss an episode where they talked about who the monster was and why, how the little kid is controlling light bulbs in the apartment, and if there's skin in the wall and then there's no wall, and like this is one of the, like oh, this is so intriguing. Like how are they gonna explain all of this sciencey stuff that's going on? They don't. Spoiler warning. I understand the name of the show is Stranger Things, but you have to have some kind of payoff. You can't just have a bunch of stuff happen because visually it looks cool. Like when Winona Ryder puts the lights on the alphabet and she's talking to her son and he's lighting up words. Great scene. Iconic, possibly, from the show. But it's never explained. He's on the upside down. Okay. Is that even what it was called?
Yes.
Please, you go. Like, I don't want to be this angry. Like, I'm not angry. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I was certainly entertained. The soundtrack was great. Like, I loved just it captured, I mean, it was nostalgic. Like, even, like, the opening font, like, looked like the font from, like, Cujo or Firestarter, like an old Stephen King novel. It was that font.
I don't have a lot to say. As much as I enjoyed it, there's not really a lot for me to talk about.
Because nothing happens.
Right, I know it. But I thought it looked really cool. And
cinematography was great.
I watch TV shows for characters and not necessarily a story. I would much rather see characters develop, and I know this isn't a very long show, so there really isn't time for them to develop, but that's the reason I watch TV. I don't really care about the story. I care about what happens to the characters. So TV shows don't really have to have a story for me to enjoy them. if I get to see characters become something, that's much more enjoyable to me.
That's an interesting perspective. And it makes me... Because watching them, be like, why do people love this? Not why do people like it, because it's neat. But the characters were likable. So, I mean, the actors, I thought, breathed a lot of life into thinly written characters. Like the sheriff character could have gone so wrong with a different actor. Or like Winona Ryder. Like, I don't think the mom really did anything. She held on to her beliefs, and she was courageous in spite of everybody telling her she's crazy. But that was like the first couple episodes. So I think Winona Ryder took it to another level. Like, she was great. Like the pretty boy character, like, he had a little twist where maybe we learned that he has some substance. Like, I kind of liked, so what I thought was going to be a cliched triangle was kind of more interesting than it was. Even though the weird loner, I never liked that character. Because he was creepy. He was filming her undressing through her window. I'm not saying they should have beaten him up and smashed his camera, but they tried to present this as these bullies are picking on this guy. It's like, no, these bullies, you were filming me and my girlfriend, right? So that was, I don't know. Wait, what were we talking about? I respond more to a strong story, but I also like characters. I mean, I don't know. As a character study, it was well done, but I thought as a piece of science fiction, it fell flat for me, story-wise. And nobody's gonna agree with me on this. Every now and again, I just have an out there opinion on things. Like when the Dark Knight trilogy came out, I was the only person, I think maybe you too, like, these movies actually really suck. I like the one with Bane, even though that's the one everybody said, that's the worst one. I was like, no, that was the only one that was the least bit enjoyable. I mean, definitely, if you have Netflix, check it out, because it's fun, and it's neat. Just don't expect the best show of all time. The kids were good, and I didn't, because when I started it, because I texted you, I was like, wait, is this about kids? I don't want to watch some stuff about kids.
I believe you said ugly kids.
Ooh, like they were weird looking. They were nerdy, weird, goofy looking kids. And they were great. The show was the better for it. But at the end of the day, like, this is so much like the Goonies or E.T. or the Goonies saved the Goondocks. They found a pirate ship and they saved the day. They saved E.T. The explorers found the alien and did whatever. What did these kids do? These kids didn't do anything. Anytime they encountered any kind of obstacle, they were saved by Elle. And at the end of the day, I don't think, if you took the kids out of this show, Winona Ryder and the sheriff still would have saved the missing kid. Am I forgetting anything? Was there any scene where one of the main kids does anything that isn't in support of Al? Like, am I remembering? Somebody will comment down below with something. And I'll be like, no. I think at some point in there I said, check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Before we started this, you said it'll be short, right?
Yeah, I think I said I have nothing to say. The girl was good.
Which one?
The one girl. Like the pretty girl?
The one girl. There was
like
there was Winona Ryder, there was
the
Nancy, there was the other mom, there was Eleven, there was Barbara.